I think there is a misunderstanding of mature storytelling in this series. As we were just saying, with the gratuitous violence and the swearing. I'm just finding what I said so I can say it in a similar way. I feel like the new directors of the show and the new writers don't understand why the original show was as good as it was. Because in the original series, there was one F-bomb.
Yeah.
One in the whole show. And in Born Again, there's gotta be like 50.
How many F-bombs?
I don't know if that's gonna be a number you're gonna be able to find, but
I don't know. I'm sure somebody's caught. For example, the first 2 episodes have about 6.
Yeah, I was figuring about 6 in each. As we've already said, what we got is better than what we could have gotten. But still, they don't understand what made it great. For one thing, what the violence really does, what the violence and gore in the original show really do, is they enhance the realism of the world. And even though we don't necessarily like to see all of that, even rewatching the original, there's still moments where I look away because it's a bit too gory or violent for me sometimes.
Yeah,
but
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. But particularly the scene in the finale where Kingpin crushes Gallows' head. It was just absurd and excessive. It had the opposite effect of what the violence did in the original. Because whether or not someone could realistically do that, it still feels fantastical, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
For him to just tear a guy's face apart like that.
Yep.
So, because just showing us these violence and the blood splatter and having all these F-bombs, that's not what mature storytelling is.
Yep.
It's
like what a kid thinks mature storytelling is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're just showing us the right things and think we're going to be happy with that. It's almost like some of the same issues of what I had with his appearance in She-Hulk.
Yeah.
It's like they think they can use a hallway scene and his theme for a short bit, and you even use the same actor and like call it Daredevil. And yet that's what Born Again pretty much does at the same level.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, you can't just have these superficial things and call it Daredevil. This meaningful and mature storytelling. It's about telling a deep and meaningful story that feels real.
Yeah.
It feels like heartbreaking. And that's what the original show did. Yeah. And I feel like there were hints of that in Born Again, but it didn't do that nearly as well as the original.
100% agree. It's back to what I heard on Open Bar Critical Drinker say, one of his friends said, and I'm not going to get the quote exactly right, but is it giving the fans what they want or giving the fans something that looks like what they think they want?
Mm-hmm.
Or something along those lines. And it was more or less giving us or something that looked like what we wanted. And had no heart. Very little heart. So that's why it was almost so good.